The Salmo Slider is one of my favourite lures for targeting pike. I'm out fishing on a big gravel pit today and I've been using the slider to cover as much water as possible. It's a great searching lure, and because I haven't fished this lake for a very long time, I've wanted to cover as much ground as possible, and by doing that I've been able to put a nice fish on the bank. So I'm going to explain to you how I like to fish the slider throughout the winter and the summer months to target pike and other species. Over the years it's built up a reputation for being a legendary pike lure, and the reason for that is because it has a very deep profile. When you fish it on a twitch and pause retrieve or swim it back, it has a fantastic flashing action resembling an injured bait fish, and for fishing all types of venues they're fantastic lures for targeting pike. The shape of a slider has the profile of three of the main prey fish that pike love to eat, so roach, bream and perch. And they're available in a number of different sizes as well, from a tiny 5 centimetres, then up to 7, then 10, 12, up to a massive 16 centimetres. So there's a wide variety of sizes to choose from, depending on what you'll be targeting and where you're likely to be fishing. For targeting pike, I like to use the sizes between 7 and 12 centimetres. That's what I've been mainly using today. And then there are other times where, for example, if I'm targeting perch on a canal or a river, I like to use the 5 centimetre size, especially in the summer months. So there's a whole range of sizes to choose from. Similarly to the number of different sizes available in the range, there's also a huge range of colours too, depending on whether you're fishing in clear or coloured water. For clear water conditions, like the gravel pit I've been fishing today, I like to use some of the more natural colours in the range, such as holographic grey shiner, real roach and supernatural tench. And then for fishing in stained or coloured water, there's some really outlandish colours as well, such as hot perch, green tiger, parrot and bright perch. So there's a wide range of colours as well to suit the clarity of the water that you're fishing in. If you keep an eye out in tackle shops and also on the Salmo website, from time to time there are limited edition colours that become available in the sliders, and some of these are fantastic. I mean, I'm holding one up here of a largemouth bass, and this colour was designed by the designer of the Salmo lure, Piotr Piskorski. So there's a whole range of colours to choose as well. There are floating and sinking options available in the slider range, and because it's the middle of January at the moment, I'm fishing with the sinking sliders. So I'm just going to explain to you a few different ways that I like to fish the sliders on venues like this in the winter, and also I'll talk a little bit about how I like to fish them in the summer as well. So probably my favourite style of retrieve is by lightly tapping the rod tip and basically getting it to swim on like a zigzag, almost subsurface walk the dog action. So I'll make a cast. Now they sink at roughly sort of 6 inches to a foot a second, so you can count it down depending on the depth that you're fishing in. So I've counted it down a few seconds now, and I'm going to start retrieving, and I'm basically very slowly winding in the slack whilst twitching the lure back. And if you were to see the lure underwater, it looks so much like an injured bait fish, and you can fish it really slowly. So you can tap it, leave it for a second or two, tap it, keep up that retrieve, or you can fish it a little bit faster when it's a bit warmer as well. The second way I like to fish the slider is by using the rod tip to pull the lure back 2 or 3 feet, then winding up the slack and then continuing that retrieve all the way back to the bank. So now that that's been sinking, I'll just pull the lure to the side, wind up the slack, pull the lure to the side, and this is often very effective, especially in the spring or the summer months when the fish are a little bit more fired up and you can fish a little bit faster because the water temperatures are a bit warmer. Because of the shape of the slider and the curvature of the head, this lure can also be fished really well on a straight retrieve as well. So just by casting it out, counting it down to the depth that you require the lure to swim in, and just winding it back on a steady kind of pace. Now when the lure does reach the bank, and this counts for all sinking lures actually, not just the slider, if you get a pike follow you in, which we've had a couple of times today, don't lift the lure straight out of the water, because there's often a good chance that by doing that you'll spook the fish. But if you let the lure fall to the bottom, what will often happen is that the pike will follow the lure down, look at it for a little while, and sometimes they'll actually take the lure off the bottom, which is so exciting to watch. So that's another really effective little tip that I'd recommend for all sinking lures really, but it especially works well with the sliders because they've got that bait fish profile to them. Over the years, the slider's caught me some really good pike, and I've got a lot of trust in it, especially when the going gets tough. So I'd recommend them for anyone that is considering targeting pike on any kind of venue really. So if you haven't already, you should give them a go.